What's good, everyone? It's Coach Ábris here, and this is our second full-length interview with questions that you brought to us through all different channels of social media. For those who don't know me, I'm Coach Ábris, founder of the Cycle Protocol, and over the past year, we helped over 50 high achievers and corporate executives sustainably get below 15% body fat, double their natural energy levels, and get in the best shape of their lives and actually stay there right afterwards, ongoing, and hopefully for decades, because we live for being lean and energetic for life, and our primary focus is health and longevity, besides the classic fitness stuff where people only focus on vanity metrics, right? So that's why I'm happy that you brought a lot of questions for today. You asked me all across different social media platforms about different aspects of health, not just how to get big muscles and abs. So I really appreciate you guys and all of the comments I got on YouTube, on Twitter or X, or call it whatever you want, and LinkedIn and Instagram and all of these different platforms. So I compiled a list of questions and I will attempt to answer all of them to my best knowledge and from the professional expertise that we have accumulated over the years with Demicycle Protocol. So the first question is just to pump some fun into tonight's questionnaire is what to eat to last longer, from a fellow commenter on YouTube. And I assume, and I will expand on this, you want to last longer in the bed, right? So you want to have a better sexual performance and maintain your erection over a longer period of time. For me, what worked for me the best, and for my clients who obviously like got more out of it as they were already 40, 50 years old, is watermelon. Watermelon has been used as an aphrodisiac for thousands of years, and it's super effective for stronger erections. But let me tell you like how this works. What is the mechanism behind watermelon and why it is such an amazing fruit to eat? So first of all, it will boost your blood flow. It will enhance your nitric oxide levels, which basically means that your blood will flow faster, your blood pressure goes down, your heart pump intensity, just goes down, and your blood flow will get boosted. And that means that the nutrients get to your targeted body parts faster than before. So technically, if you're pumping, for example, your muscles in the gym, the blood will go to your muscles sooner. The nutrients will get to your muscles sooner. If you are sexually aroused, right, then the blood will get to the right place, the little or big Johnson first, right? And little or big Johnson will play a better role in whatever theatrical piece you are performing on that particular bed. So basically, this is what you should eat to last longer. But other things that could improve your testosterone levels and your personal sexual performance, right, on how long you have endurance, first of all, would be lifestyle changes, right? Eating a high protein diet, doing some sort of movement every single day, accumulating 6,000 to 8,000 steps or potentially more, right? Because you always want to have that cardiovascular system that enables you to maintain strong erections even multiple times per day, right? So because our goal with Demicycle Protocol is that all the men who join us one day will be an energetic, lean, and sexually active 70-year-old, right? But for that, you got to start building the foundations in your 40s and 50s, or potentially even sooner. But if you haven't built the foundations in your 20s and your 30s, your 40s and 50s are still quite energetic years to build the foundations for lifelong health and fitness. And of course, sexual health is part of that. Zinc is also a very powerful supplement for increasing your testosterone levels and for longer erections, and also for male fertility, better sperm quality. You might want to look into ashwagandha, tongat ali, and tribulus terrestris, or for example, fenugreek. But the thing is, I wouldn't focus too much on these supplements unless I have fixed my lifestyle under some lifting 2 to 4 times per week, or at least I'm doing some sort of resistance training, unless I'm sleeping well, right? So get your hormones fixed through lifestyle changes first, and only then think about supplements. And of course, by lifestyle changes, I basically mean nutrition, movement, and sleep. These three main aspects of your lifestyle. And if you fix these, I can guarantee you, you will last longer in bed because you will have a better cardio, better endurance, better muscle power, more mobility, you will just thrust better, right? And that's very important. Thrust more and thrust better. And just to paraphrase a little bit one of my mentors. And of course, when it comes to nutrition, watermelon is a very important part of it because if you happen to be in a fat loss phase, you want to make sure that you maximize the size of the food that you're eating, but you're minimizing the calories or the energy intake through that food. And watermelon is amazing for that. So, like 300 grams of watermelon, that's not more than 90 calories in total if you are into counting calories. My clients, the Recycle Protocol, they do not count calories. I personally do not count calories. I lost 50 pounds last year without counting calories, but it's good to know that watermelon is low in calories compared to each large size. So you can eat a quarter of a watermelon every single day, perform amazing in bed, and actually with the sexual activity that you are expressing, that you are indulging in, right? That will burn more calories than the calories that you took in with a watermelon. So I think that's a win-win situation also for you and also for your wife or partner or whoever you're living with or whoever you are in a sexual affair with. But we've got another question: how to stay lean year-round? Amazing question. You can stay lean year-round if you get lean first, right? So between 10 to 15% body fat, and then you get to like a maintenance food intake. And without counting calories, you can estimate your maintenance food intake in a way that you start slowly increasing your portion sizes, the amount of total carbs, fats, and proteins that you're eating. And once you get to the point where your body weight is stagnating on a week to week basis, so it's not really growing, it's not really decreasing anymore, it's just like at the same, and your body composition is also staying more or less the same, then you have kind of like hit the right spot. But if you want to put on more lean muscle mass, you want to go for eating a little bit more, taking in a little bit more energy, so a little caloric surplus for the scientific dudes, a little caloric surplus that you want, um, above about like 500 calories above if you want to count calories, uh, your total daily expenditure, your TDE. And once you're there, you can build lean muscle and you can stay relatively lean. And I would say, do a challenge with yourself, right? So if you end the cut at 10% body fat, right? Make a challenge that you are starting the lean bulk phase, and at least, I would say, at least give 8 months to such a phase or cycle, because building lean muscle is 100 times more difficult, or at least it takes twice as long as losing fat. So fat loss is relatively easy compared to building up quality lean mass, especially if you are not a beginner anymore. It will be more difficult for you to build a significant amount of lean muscle on top of what you have already gained, right? So how that works is that you're challenging yourself that you are not going above 15% body fat during that bulk period, that 8, 9, 10 months of lean bulking, gaining phase. But every time you happen to go above 15% body fat, you have to go on a 6 to 8 week mini cut. So that's going to be the gist of the challenge. Um, and how else you can stay year round? There are many ways to skin this cat. So you can do intermittent fasting. I'm doing intermittent fasting and it works amazing for me, but mostly because it fits my work schedule. So I can make sure that before like 2 p.m. every single day, I finish with my most important tasks. I wake up like very early in the morning, so anywhere between 4 to 6 a.m. I do majority of my work until 2. I have lunch at 2-ish. And until then, I'm not distracted by eating, and I can eat bigger meals for lunch and dinner, and I'm still at maintenance or below maintenance calories, unless I want to bulk myself up a bit more. Right now, it's not on my bucket list. I'm more or less in maintenance, or maybe a little bit above or below maintenance. When it comes to staying lean year round, this is my approach. But you want to adopt those habits that the lean person has. So, for example, you can still keep up your step counts that you used to keep up with your cutting. Maybe you can cut it back about 20%. So, let's say you used to walk 10K steps per day. Meanwhile, you were cutting and you achieved 10% body fat. Congrats to you. Now it's enough to walk like 8,000 steps per day just to maintain some kind of cardiovascular health, right? It's okay to do some kind of high intensity interval training, VO2 max, Norwegian VO2 max, or ladder training, for example, Russian ladder. It's fine to do these about about 2 or 3 times per week in a lean gaining phase if you want to stay lean year round or just maintain your body composition. So you have to eat like a lean person, move like a lean person. Of course, still training hard at least 2 times. Go down to the gym or go out to the park. Resistance training, let it be intense. Let your muscles go close to failure. Don't have to push yourself to failure on every single training session. You just want to make sure that you give your muscles a run for their money. Usually, you always leave like 0 to 1 or 2 reps in the tank, and that's it. And if you have figured these out, and finally, you have to sleep like a lean person. So the deeper and more efficient you sleep, the more fat burning and lean muscle mass promoting processes will be prioritized in your body. So more testosterone, more growth hormone, more satiety hormone, leptin, and less hunger hormone, so ghrelin, will be released in your body if you're sleeping better. So sleep, train, move, eat like a lean person, and you can stay lean year round. So I hope these habits are making sense so far. Of course, there are certain more nuances to this. If you are curious about any of these or any kind of facets or further details on how do we stay lean year round, how do I stay lean year round, I'm happy to share more. But generally, this is the most important advice I can give to you. And another question, and it's pretty serious: high blood pressure but can't get off meds. How do I fix this naturally? Well, if you want to fix this naturally, you have already made the first step that you want to get off meds. To be honest, this is not medical advice. I can't tell you to get off meds immediately, but I have had clients over the age of 46 whom I successfully helped getting off of blood pressure medication. So what we did is that we gradually started increasing their DMT. No, not DMT as a drug, but DMT as in daily movement targets. So the more you move during the day, the lower your blood pressure will fall. And then this is why resistance training is important, because that's okay that they were walking or doing some kind of exercise every single day, some kind of passive, something that you can do multitasking. So meanwhile you're on the stationary bike, you can respond to client messages, you can follow up with your pipeline, you can respond to email, you can do whatever you want, right? You can manage your CRM. That's cool. You can take calls even. You can do that while walking. You can do that while walking outdoors, soaking up the sunlight, resetting your circadian rhythm, your sleep-wake cycle. Everything is okay, but when it comes to blood pressure, this is not the only beneficial thing. So we have had them train, all of my clients with high blood pressure over the age of 40. We had them train at least 2 to 4 times per week in the gym or at home with body weight. Whatever, what really mattered was high intensity, not interval training, but high intensity training in the gym. So with weights or at home with body weight, we went for high intensity. Why? Because these intense training sessions brought real success to them, and on average, just in the first couple of weeks, their BPR, so like blood pressure, instantly, automatically was reduced by 5 to 10% to what it used to be before. So by the end of the program, it was obvious that they could get off of the meds. Their doctors were furious, like, how the hell did you do this to yourself? Why are you not taking your meds? And you're like, doctor, I don't need it anymore. So this is how you fix this naturally, through a lot of movement. And one more thing, you will be surprised: watermelon. Watermelon contains the citrulline, which is proven to reduce blood pressure and improve blood flow. And this is safe for you. So if you have a high blood pressure, for example, caffeine-based pre-workout might not be the best solution for you. If you want to avoid jitters, anxiety, dizziness, and like feeling like your heart is about to explode. But what you can do is you can eat watermelon or drink watermelon juice before your workout. Or I'm also working on an alternative solution to this problem. What really matters is there is citrulline in watermelon, and the citrulline in your bloodstream transformed into L-arginine, and the L-arginine will create higher nitric oxide levels in your bloodstream, and that will lead to higher blood flow. So just like in the case of the first question, how to last longer, watermelon is applicable for high blood pressure as well. So if you want elevated blood flow, boosted blood flow, like fuller veins and lower blood pressure, movement and intense training are not the only solutions. Watermelon, so citrulline, is also a solution in this case. All right. Next question. Can't get any deep sleep. What's wrong with me? Probably there's nothing wrong with you or with your brain, right? It's a very common issue. I don't know you who asked this question. It was anonymous from YouTube, but I have had a client, Japanese entrepreneur, real estate mogul, and he came to me with the same problem. And in the first week, we doubled his deep sleep metrics. How did we do that? So your deep sleep is natural to drop down if you're not mindful of your sleeping habits after the age of like 35, 30-ish, right? 30, 35-ish, it will drop down naturally. Every year you will lose from your natural melatonin production unless you're doing some significant lifestyle changes that would drive up your sleep hormone production. And so this Japanese guy came to me, absolutely, smart dude with antennas between his ears, like absolutely good brain, good soul, good heart, but no deep sleep. So he was low on energy, skinny fat body composition. He wanted to change that. And what we did is, first of all, we implemented like a solid pre-bed routine for him. Of course, an ideal pre-bed routine is different for everybody else, but what I recommend is calm down your body, your nerves, and your brain. And for deep sleep, your body will be the most important. Now, how you can calm down your body? There are many different methods for that. Usually what we use with our clients, like warm showers, breathing exercise, which I want to upload a video of to YouTube, by the way. The video is ready. I just need to upload it. Breathing exercise tutorial. Progressive muscle relaxation. This is a military technique that we use sometimes. And steam room, sauna. So all of these mobility practice, we often do hip mobility, lower back mobility, knee mobility, ankle mobility. So these are good for preventing restlessness, which also decrease your deep sleep and stuff like that. So first of all, you want to calm down your body. Then you want to calm down your nerves. We usually do that with chamomile, valerian root tea, magnesium glycinate. And finally, you want to calm down your brain. You want to wire your brain to sleep. You want to tell your brain that this is the time of sleep. This is when we switch off completely. How we do that is usually like journaling or reading under dim lights, and possibly avoiding screens, or for example, like putting on blue light blockers to make sure that in the last hour, last 30 to 60 minutes per day, they spend their day without any kind of like blue light exposure that limits their melatonin, their sleep hormone production. And there are like specifics about the sleep environment. So if you want to sleep deep, probably want to sleep in total darkness, and you either put on like blackout curtains, you completely black out your room, or you sleep with a sleep mask. You just put it on your eyes and you don't see anything, and you're all chill. You want to reduce the temperature. You want your room to be cool, about 67 Fahrenheit, so like 16 to 18 Celsius. Um, and you want it to be quiet. And just, I wanted to clarify, by quiet, I don't mean silent. I mean undisturbed, uninterrupted, monotonous. You want to create monotonity in your room. And you can create that by rainfall sounds, 44, 32 hertz calming music, or white noise, pink noise, brown noise. These are all stimulating your brain in a way that it's easier to get more deep sleep in. And of course, there are certain supplements which are like specifically for improving deep sleep. Speaking of L-theanine or GABA, both of these are amazing for improving your deep sleep. And apparently, these methods and these different personalized protocols worked very well for my clients, and I really hope that it will work for you as well. Although the best is to always measure, what gets improved, or sorry, what gets measured gets improved, what gets measured gets managed. And I know that it might be an overused um, quote or paraphrasing, right? But it's undeniably true. It's undeniably true that the reason why we get an Oura ring shipped to each of our clients' addresses is that we want to make sure that they have accurate data on their sleep. Otherwise, how would I give them feedback? Otherwise, how would they know if they have recovered perfectly? How would they know how much they can get out of the day, right? Like, how would they know that if they feel tired or groggy, why is that happening and how can they change it? What could they do to make it better, right? And if they have a coach who analyzes their sleep stats every single day and send them reports, send them recommendations, strategy for every single day, what to do a little bit differently and what they did right, what they did wrong, then the whole process comes so easy that you won't even think that something is wrong with you. Probably something is wrong with the habits and the lifestyle choices that you have been following so far. So I think there's nothing wrong with you except for your habits and your lifestyle right now, and you will be able to get deep sleep. For example, my client I've been mentioning, uh, he hasn't gotten basically any deep sleep for decades, or not any deep sleep, but his deep sleep was very low, super low. And if we were able to double that in the first week, and we've been able to go even higher in the first 3 or 4 weeks, then it means that our concepts are proven even if your situation feels hopeless. So if you might be a good fit to work with each other, right? And you have considered working with us in the past, then feel free to book a free call in the description, and yeah, we can figure out. We will craft up a game plan for you of how we would get you to at least 20% deep sleep, and basically your best shape and the best health of your life ever, sustainably, and actually stay there over the next 6 months. You would get a whole roadmap ahead of you, and then we could decide that, okay, where do we move forward from here? But I really hope that only from these tips you won't just sit on your laurels, but you will actually stand up and start working on the things that you know you need to work on in order to have better deep sleep, and you will get there. And if it gets overwhelming, if it gets too difficult, there is always personalized guidance and accountability and solutions that we are offering. But there is nothing wrong with you. I just wanted to say it's probably something wrong with your habits. Next one. Don't have time for cardio. How do I get more movement in? Okay, I really like this because I haven't done a single scheduled cardio session in 2023 when I lost 50 pounds in 6 months. So how did I do that? Every day I was just walking as much as I could, walking out of the world. Meanwhile, taking calls, responding to messages, checking in with clients. So I tried to multitask in the meantime, and that's amazing. It's so efficient. But if you still don't have more time to cardio and might have not have the circumstances for walking all day long, then you can still walk indoors. You can still hit 5 minutes shadow box session in the evening before you fall asleep. At least you will be exhausted, and it will be easier for you to fall asleep. What else you could do? Like passive activity, like tennis, golf, basketball, baseball, whatever. Play ball with your friends. Play ball more often. That burns a lot of fat and calories. But Ábris, I don't have time to even hit a
friendly badminton match with my friends. Like, what do I do with my work buddies? Like, I can't even go out. I can't even go out with my team members. I'm so busy. Okay, I can understand you. In that case, the way you want to increase your total daily energy expenditure, your TDE, is basically you include more passive activity in your days, right? You don't necessarily have to do high intensity interval training or VO2 max or Russian ladders or Norwegian VO2 max, whatever extreme cardio sessions you might think of. You just need some passive activity. And if you can't go on long walks, if you just can't do any kind of scheduled or semi-scheduled activity, then you either invest in a standing or treadmill desk. So meanwhile you're working, meanwhile you're hustling, meanwhile you're working your ass off, you can get some extra movement in. I think that would be super helpful for you. Or you might as well try implementing mini workouts, which helps you to re-energize and refocus yourself during the day. So how it works is, for example, some of my clients, we did this trick. For every 30 minutes, they set a timer, right? And this timer told them to do some movement. It was like, for some of them, it looked like 5 burpees, 10 push-ups, 15 towel rows, or whatever. And this amount of movement, let's say you're spending, let's be very conservative, 14 hours a week. And you're repeating this 28 times a day. Imagine how many extra calories you're burning. Imagine how much you are developing your muscles and your balance, how much you are improving your digestive system, right? Your metabolism with this, your mobility. So it's not just cardio, it's like about teaching your body how to be young. This is what fitness, what wellness is about. Teach your body to be young forever. And this is what I'm doing this is what we're doing with the Demi-Cycle protocol with 40, 50-year-old dudes, like making them forever young. This is our purpose. And this is what cardio does. Cardio is not primarily for fat loss. Cardio is for like maintaining and repairing the engine, your heart. So if you can't do a scheduled cardio session, go for these mini workouts. Those are the most effective. 28 times per day, just like those 2 minutes until you hit these 3 micro sets of these exercises. It's absolutely worth the investment. 100%. And you don't need to do anything else. Like, you can just say that, yeah, that was my movement for today. But if you're going hardcore and you're going for 10% body fat, of course it would make sense for you to have a treadmill desk and to get 10,000, 15,000 steps in per day. So, and you know, your heart will only be grateful for you, to you, for all of these activities. So you will never regret this, basically. All right, but let's move on to the next question. This gentleman says there is a heavy drinking culture amongst businessmen in my country. Booze is forced on each event and conference. How do I still attend these and not mess up my weight loss? Well, you can still attend this event, you can still enjoy some booze, just make sure not to get into the toxic side of things, right? Not to get fucked up, not to get shit-faced. I can completely understand there are countries where drinking culture is like at an all-time high, right? And yeah, you just can't really do anything about it, but it doesn't mean that you have to be participating in the culture. You can showcase that, okay, for me, my health is more important to me. It matters to me more than getting fucked up here. And why? Because alcohol is not just shutting down your fat loss processes for like 24 to 48 hours because your body feels that this is toxic, so I have to use all my energy first to get rid of the toxic, the poison, right? It's not just that. It wrecks your energy levels for the next 2 to 3 days. So you just wasted 3 days from your life. You don't want to do that, right? But you can still enjoy some alcohol. You can still indulge, but remember, it requires 10 times more discipline to stop at the second or third drink than to not drink at all. This is why people who used to be alcoholics and are not drinking anymore are still alcoholics. We call them dry alcoholics. They are on a dry streak. And in the best case, the dry streak will last until the end of their lives. But they will still die as an alcoholic, a dry alcoholic. So, if you don't want to become an alcoholic, and you want to be a disciplined person who still enjoys these things that life has to offer, then what I would recommend is to go for cleaner drinks that they don't really cause hangover, and go for these leaner options. So for example, my go-to drinks are dry red wine, like about 2 to 3 glasses of that, and vodka, tequila, and gin. So like these more clean and transparent spirits that are less likely to cause hangover. And what you want to do is ideally mix these spirits with zero calorie soda or sparkling water. And okay, some people might attack me now that, wait, 0 calorie soda, isn't that full of aspartame? Like these sweeteners, they cause cancer. No, there is no clear evidence that they cause cancer. And even if you want to get that dosage of aspartame in, you would have to drink like 150 liters of zero Coke on a daily basis to get that amount of aspartame that potentially could cause cancer for you. So it's still a healthier option than getting shit-faced, for example. So if you want to cope with aspartame being unhealthy for drinking a lot, you're coping in the wrong place. And the thing is, as long as you have like some sparkling water or 0 calorie soda for next to these drinks or mixed with these drinks, it will satiate you more. You won't feel the urge to eat that much in between, because sometimes alcohol causes this. Sometimes you just pop a beer, right? And you want to immediately eat a burger. And I think the last thing, just mentioning beer, that you want to drink is beer, right? Because it contains hop that makes you look more feminine, you know. You start developing these secondary feminine traits because more estrogen, more female stress hormone will be released in your body. And that sucks because you will start growing, you know, these man boobs, beer belly. And what is beer belly? Beer belly is basically visceral fat. So beneath your abdomen, there is a layer of fat covering your organs and attacking them, like slowing down their function. It could kill you. So this is why I would say you need to develop the discipline muscle. Discipline is a muscle that can be trained with progressive overload. And the more and more difficult situations you put yourself into, and the more consistently you can stay disciplined in these situations and you can resist temptations, the more you can develop, the more you can grow your discipline muscle, and it will become stronger and stronger. And this is where you have to possess that willpower that says that, okay, after the first 2 drinks, I'm not drinking anymore. You can get shit-faced. You can drink 15 shots tonight, but I'm not gonna go for more because my health is more important. And I think this is much more difficult than staying completely dry, because then you just say, sorry mate, I'm driving. But if you still want to enjoy life, you still want to indulge every once in a while, so do that. Limit this to maximum 3 to 4 times per month. And I think every 3 months you can get fucked up. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, right? Because every 3 months I'm getting fucked up too. I mean, I'm not going until I'm fucking blackout drunk, but I'm getting tipsy, and that's fine. Every, quarterly you can afford to do that. Nothing wrong with it. But if you make like a system out of this, if you make it a regular activity, you are slowly boiling yourself like a frog. So not recommended. So you can attend these events. You must practice the discipline, and you have to prioritize these drinks I mentioned: dry red wine and clean and transparent spirits, gin, vodka, tequila, and please don't be a degenerate. Don't be overindulging in booze, because there are so many great things in life and so many great conversations. So always ask yourself, why am I drinking, right? Why are we in this event? What is this event about? What milestone are we celebrating? And who am I drinking with? Who am I making connections with? Can I respect these people who behave like this, right? Who is an important connection to me, who is not? Who am I looking up to? What are his or her drinking habits, right? Because one's drinking habits tell a lot about their personality, or about their childhood traumas, or about the way they are socializing, right? And you just can't. People who are like overindulging in drinking and get blackout drunk every single time, they are usually the most insecure ones, and they are usually the ones who try to cope for something. They try to escape into something. So would you rather be a person who has such a miserable reality that you want to escape from that? Or you want to become the person who has such a great life that there's nothing to escape from? Think about this, and then it will help you to put booze into a hopefully better perspective for you. All right, next question. Upset stomach after eating high protein meals. Should I reduce my protein intake? Oh yeah, I understand your tummy hurts sometimes, and it might not be because of the protein, but that's an interesting question. Gut health needs to be assessed first. So I think if you want to live a healthy lifestyle, so if you want to have like a healthy body composition as well, which is primarily meaning muscle dominant, low body fat body composition, right? So the last thing you want to do is reducing your protein intake, especially that I'm not aware of your protein intake right now, but if your stomach is upset, it's probably because you don't have a proper stomach acid balance in your stomach, or in your intestines, you don't have a good balance of gut microbiome. So if you want to improve your gut health, you need a lot of prebiotics and probiotics, especially probiotics that help you increase the amount of gut microbiome that's digestive and decrease the amount of destructive gut microbiome, like anti-digestive. Because let's make it simple, there are good bacteria and bad bacteria in your stomach, and you want to eat food which improves the living conditions of the good bacteria and versus the living conditions of the bad bacteria. And these foods are like kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles. So mostly these fermented foods are amazing for improving your gut health. I also recommend consuming bone broth on a regular basis. Collagen, glutamine as a supplement, as an amino acid, is super helpful for your gut health. And a couple of weeks ago, I wrote a Twitter thread, and basically an article about gut health. So I highly recommend checking that out. But I think these are the most important tips that you can implement today, and then add the rest slowly, gradually, because we want to make sure that during your health transformation, during your progress, you never feel like your stomach is upset. It's very important that you are actually enjoying your diet and it's not causing you pain. So when it comes to your stomach, you never want to feel uncomfortable, okay? So you want to be well balanced, you want to be a well-rounded person, and you don't want to just eat protein, and carbs, fats. Sometimes you have to take care of the proper fiber intake and the proper consumption of pro and prebiotics as well. So you don't have to reduce protein intake, you just want to make sure that everything that goes into your body gets digested properly. And with the help of probiotics, that's highly probable that it's going to happen. Next question. Can I lose fat eating out 4 to 6 times per week? Good news for you is that you can lose fat no matter how many times you eat out a week. I have a client who we started working together basically 3 weeks ago. All of his meals, almost all of his meals are restaurant meals, because the place where he was living at the time, like, that had everything that you could ever imagine, but not a gas stove or an electric stove or anything like that. So he was eating at restaurants for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, and it works perfectly for him because we have solid protocols, a demicycle protocol for that. So we have solid systems in place for lean eating out, as we call it. So as we like to do this is that we prioritize high protein meals, and we want to make sure that whatever we order at a certain restaurant that we attend is at least 50% protein. So if I look at the plate and at least half of the plate is occupied by a high protein meal or like a source of protein, like a big sirloin steak, like preferably like a lean protein source, then you're good to go. What is a lean protein source? So which is high in protein, low in fats, zero carbs. So this could be low-fat cheese, for example, low-fat cottage cheese. This could be halibut, tilapia. So these are excellent examples of lean seafood. Or, for example, shrimp is amazing too. Lean cuts of meat, such as filet mignon, sirloin, tenderloin, these are all amazing, right? So you want to prioritize these. And you get that on your plate, and on the side, you want to prioritize like high volume, low energy foods. So like potatoes, sweet potatoes, grilled vegetables, mandioca, all of these are great sides. You want to go for like 0 calorie hot sauces, primarily salads to add some more volume. Always think of your stomach as a parking lot that you want to fill with the least amount of carbs possible. So let's say the cars are the carbs, and the size of the car determines like how many cars are fitting in the parking lot. So you can either fit that parking lot with 30 monster trucks or 100 Toyota Corollas, right? Sorry, Toyota owners. But if you fill that parking lot with 30 big ass monster trucks, so like if you fill your stomach with large amounts of large size carbohydrate sources, but for less energy than it would take to fill your stomach up with rice, which is small. So less cars in total than it would take to fill up that parking lot with 100 Toyota Corollas. So I hope this makes sense. And if you follow this protocol, and if you structure your day around the restaurant meal, so for example, you know you have a client dinner today, right? Tonight at 7 p.m. you have a client dinner, you have to attend that. What you will do is that you might fast up until the noon, right, or early afternoon. You eat a high protein, low carb, low fat meal. You have a high protein snack like an extra protein shake or protein bar before the event, or like a couple of beef, turkey, or salmon jerkies, chicken jerkies, even chicken tender, whatever. You just eat some clean protein source before you go to restaurants, so you don't go there completely hungry, because that's when you make the worst decisions. And yeah, you simply solve it this way. So you don't have that kind of self-digesting protein hunger, but you can still go to the restaurant in the way that you're not that hungry. You're not that hungry for proteins. You can moderate yourself. And if you're eating so lean all day long, and even in a restaurant you're eating lean and you're not counting calories because you don't have to, you're eating a delicious steak with an amazing hot sauce on the side, or any kind of sauce that's like lower in calorie, whatever. You can ask for double protein, double the steak. You can customize your orders in most restaurants nowadays, like just, yeah, be friendly with the waiter, don't be a weirdo, right? And you eat that with potato mash or sweet potatoes, mandioca, grilled vegetables, salad, whatever you want. So you're eating volume, but you're still eating like pretty low calories, like not so much energy intake. So what are you doing afterwards? You still have space for dessert. So that's the most amazing thing about eating strategically and not being stressed about calories and stuff like that. You still have space for dessert, and you can still keep losing fat. So I think that's amazing. That's the 8th wonder of the world. And I don't get why people are so, people are still not trying to understand nutrition. They are looking for the snake oil. They are looking for the magic pill. They are looking for for that secret thingy that will just suddenly change their lives by eliminating an entire group of nutrients, which is completely unsustainable in the long term and completely a dumb decision. But this is how people are. The smarter ones have already figured out that, okay, they need a sustainable solution because they know how it feels, or at least they can imagine how it feels to be a completely healthy, energetic, and high-performing person, and they want to become that person too, and they want to stay like that. This is not a 90-day summer shredding challenge or a big booty boot camp or 75 hard. I think you should be 365 hard, meanwhile playing it easy, right? You should be a hard person who got hardened by his time spent in the gym, by his lifestyle choices. You're a pretty solid man, right? You want to be strong, you want to have a good posture, but you take it easy because you're actually enjoying your program, you're enjoying the systems that you're running in your life. So I have a particular, not just me, my clients also had particular problems with these unsustainable routines. So I would say restaurant eating, like eating out, is definitely part of having fun, part of a sustainable lifestyle. And if you don't have systems for that, or if your coach didn't give you systems for that, there is a hole that you need to fill in ASAP. So this is how we fill this hole. Of course, it depends on which restaurant you go to where you're eating, what is available on the menu, which country you are in, which region, what the culture is like. But this is why for each of my clients we are giving like a travel protocol and a customized restaurant protocol each time that they are going to a new place. We are scanning down the place, and well in advance we give them the playbook on how to approach that certain trip or that certain restaurant, what are the best picks that they can get from the menu without having to count calories. So everything fits their macros, everything fits their diet, everything fits their health goals, and they can easily understand that, okay, will this food get me closer or further away from my health goals? And if it takes them closer, they just eat it. And 20% of the time, you're allowed to eat something that might get you further from the health goals so you don't go completely crazy. Mental health is important. All right, next question. I set 10 to 12 hours per day. I think you wanted to write sit. I sit 10 to 12 hours a day and my lower back hurts. How do I fix it so I can lift properly again? So it depends on where and what type of pain you feel in the lower back, but if you sit or like if you sit a lot or you spend a lot of time seated, probably you need more lower back mobility, more stretches on the area. You might need a deep tissue massage. Particularly the exercises I would recommend. It's interesting because it's not just your lower back that needs to be mobilized in order to be able to eliminate lower back pain itself. So you want to mobilize your hips, and for that what we use is 90-90 pails and rails exercise, seated hip twists, exercises like this. And for lower back, I would particularly recommend the cat to cow stretches. That's coming from yoga, but it's super effective. This is part of the mobility routine of most of our clients because they just love it. They love to do it in the evening. They don't have restless movements during sleep. They stopped feeling lower back pain. It helps a lot. That hangs, I personally found that hangs helping a lot too in lower back. And generally, always if you feel like there's a knot or something not okay there, massage, deep tissue massage, have someone look at it, ice it, then apply some hot stuff on it, change the temperature, experiment. But if the lower back pain is ongoing, of course definitely have it checked out. But if it is just generally from sitting or being seated for an extended period of time, definitely you need mobility, and actually you need to train your back. Like, how do you expect your back not to hurt if you don't have a strong posterior chain? So that's why any kind of row variation, especially for me, like chest supported rows are such a great posterior chain and lat builder that you definitely want to leverage these exercises, which help you build a healthy posture and a strong lower back, which is less likely to get injured. Of course, stretching and mobility is still not avoidable in this case, because the bigger and bigger muscles you get, the more and more, the more stiff you are likely to become, and you don't want to be a stiff person. You don't want to be stiff like a stick, right? So you want to be mobile. You want to be able to move around. It's just a matter of practice. So even if you have a completely healthy lower back, I highly recommend you to do hip mobility and lower back mobility exercises, and eat a lot of collagen. Make sure if you need, you supplement with calcium, or eat a lot of low-fat dairy products, lean dairy products, because it's important to have all the nutrients and to fix the nutrition side of joint health as well. And I would particularly recommend eating watermelon too. I know I'm talking a lot about watermelon, but watermelon contains this plant pigment called beta-cryptoxanthin, which helps you to prevent rheumatoid arthritis. And this might not be relevant for you just yet, but I know that rheuma is developed by like many people who get older, right, over the age of 50, 60, and if you also want to prevent that, you might consider consuming watermelon on a regular basis. At least this is something that I would do, and I've been doing since 2020. Interesting, I never had lower back pain since then, or any kind of like major shoulder issues, stuff like that. But yeah, that's just one thing. Of course, there are many other solutions and supplements as well, but nothing can beat the consistent practice of mobility. And next question. All right. Why do you eat so much watermelon? Well, there are thousands of reasons. Watermelon is my favorite fruit, and number one is the blood flow that it provides. Like I have been talking about it like countless of times, but it's not just the pump that you get out of this in the gym. It's also the reduction in blood pressure. It's of course the improved sexual life, the stronger erections, and generally that blood flow that gives you the energy that keeps you pushing forward. You can also feel that blood flow in your brain, so you're much more active, you're much more focused, and this is why watermelon is amazing. So back then in 2020, a very hot summer, the watermelon season came a little bit sooner than we expected. I didn't know shit about watermelons, but I knew I was preparing for powerlifting competitions. I took powerlifting very seriously. I was a bench press specialist. I wanted to be the strongest man alive in the world. I was training in my little garage gym back in Hungary, and I would do like 2-3 hour long ridiculous training sessions, like 2 to 4 times per week, junk volume, powerlifting, whatever. And I noticed that my body is reacting very well to high volume training. Why? High volume and high intensity is the same. I was like killing myself. Why? How did I do that? So just completely accidentally, after each lunch, I started eating watermelon, because we always had it at home, right? And the season started very early, like late July-ish, which in Hungary is like a pretty early season start. And prior to that, I was a caffeine addict. Like, I was 18 years old and doing 600 milligrams a day. Like, I could have died. But I went cold turkey for a while, then I went back to stable like 120 milligrams per day. That's my sweet spot. And I was like, I need a substitute. Like, how will I spin myself around on my workouts like before? Like, what's going to give me the energy? But I couldn't help. I couldn't figure it out, right? But one day, when I finally put the little pieces of the puzzle together, that why are these training going so good for me since late July, I was like, I always train in the early afternoon. And I'm always eating watermelon as a dessert after my lunches, right? So I started researching, like, what the hell is in watermelon that makes it so special and that makes my performance go up so suddenly. And I figured out that there is citrulline in watermelon. This is one of the aspects of watermelon that I love the most. It's citrulline. Citrulline is an amino acid which basically increases or transforms into L-arginine in your body, and that boosts your nitric oxide levels. So in plain English, what it means is that your blood flow will be faster, your blood pressure reduces, and the nutrients get to your muscles way faster. As I mentioned it before, you will have amazing blood flow and pumps. And my favorite side effect was, like, honestly, is that I was back then fat. I had 20% body fat, but I had veins everywhere during the training session. Like, I saw my veins popping like crazy. So it makes your veins just appear so much bigger. And even when you're rested, like, even in rested state, you can see more veins than what you could see without nitric oxide elevation, without citrulline, without watermelon itself. So truly a wonder plant. But citrulline is not the only factor. There is lycopene in watermelon, which protects your skin, contributes to joint health, your heart health. This is also plant pigment, similar to beta-cryptoxanthin, which is responsible for your joint health. So there are a lot of plant pigments that are also antioxidants and anti-inflammatory, and help you a lot with your health. And also some of them can help you prevent cancers and certain types of bad tumors in your body. So I'm very bullish on the long-term health benefits of watermelon. That's why I recommend to eat at least a small portion every single day. But the other thing is that even if you eat big portions, it's not a problem. Like, watermelon is completely guilt-free. Even just like a 300-gram portion of that is like, how much? 90 calories? Ridiculously low. Like, very low. I could eat a kilogram of watermelon every single day and still be below 300 calories. That's why it's technically zero. I don't even add it to, I don't count calories, and I don't even add watermelon or account watermelon as part of my daily macros or whatever, or my energy intake, because every day I eat like a quarter or 1/8 of a watermelon. I feel good, I feel energized, and it's just that. It's not gonna make me fat. I have yet to see one person in this whole entire universe, multiverse, megaverse, metaverse, call it whatever you want, but I have yet to see which was one single person who got fat eating watermelon. So you probably won't get fat either. You can eat it safe every single day. It tastes amazing. It contains a lot of water, but that's not the primary reason that it hydrates you better than water itself, but because of its mineral, because of its electrolyte content. So it's super high in potassium, which is primarily supporting your heart health and gives you more energy. So it pulls the water into your body. So kind of like you become more energized through hydration. It helps your brain, it helps your muscles, it helps your organs, and it means a ton. It means a fuck ton. And I also call watermelon my favorite mental health drug, as it contains a lot of B6 vitamin. And the thing with B6 is that it helps you regulate your stress hormones, your happiness hormones, and it helps to reduce anxiety, stress, and the chances of a panic attack. There are clinical studies proving it. So this is just amazing how many different use cases watermelon have, and how many of these, most of people have never really heard of. But I'm working on something, or at least will be working on something. It's in the works, but I can't reveal too much. But I really wish that there would be something more accessible for people to enjoy all of the amazing health benefits of watermelon, because this has been, in the last 4 years, life changer for me. And here we go, soon the summer of 2024, literally, as I'm looking at my laptop, 31st of May, we are one day out of a summer. So that summer of 2020, that has been 4 years ago by now, and it has been a life-changing experience for me. So since then, there's this love story between me and watermelon, and if you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, you know that I'm the watermelon boy. So obviously this has become a part of me, and I'm just super grateful for watermelon. So I think it's time to create something that people will remember me about, something that will live longer than me, and can't reveal too much yet, but it's gonna go nuts. So this is why I'm eating so much watermelon. This is why you also may consider eating large quantities of watermelon. Next question, what 0-calorie sauces do you recommend? Oh, that's an amazing question, because I'm a big fan of hot sauces, and most of the hot sauces are technically 0 calories. But before we go into the hot sauces, it's very difficult to find like completely 0-calorie sauces. So you might consider like light mayo, low-fat mayo, or stuff like that, or the Heinz sugar-free mustard. That's also good, or any kind of sugar-free barbecue sauce, right? But when it comes to hot sauce and the low-calorie or 0-calorie ones, I love Tabasco, Sriracha. I love red hot sauces. So anything that's hot, because it's not just that I love hot food, but hot food enhances your metabolism. So it helps you to burn more calories per hour at a rest. So that's the most amazing thing about it, is that it contains this molecule called capsaicin. And capsaicin incentivizes your body to burn more calories per hour, to increase your basal metabolic rate. Isn't that amazing? So yeah, that's what I'm saying, like these hot sauces are amazing. Actually, one of my clients is about to launch a new hot sauce brand, a Japanese hot sauce brand in the US. So once that's out and up and running, I can add it to my list of recommendations. I'm about to, at some point, visit him in Japan and try it out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing. But I will let you know, guys. I'm always open to new hot sauces. I'm a big fan of hot sauces, and you should be too if you want to lose fat rapidly. This is a life hack, because it also to some degree decreases your appetite, because your food becomes so spicy because of that you don't really want to eat more. So yeah, what's better than hot sauce? All right. Most difficult is the knowing when and what to eat, and alcohol consumption on weekends. I only drink once a week, sometimes every 1 or 3 weeks, but sometimes in excess, and that stunts weight loss for sure. I'm not sure if it is a question, but I understand your problem. So if you find this the most difficult, when and what to eat, I would say do not stress about when and what to eat. Like, concentrate on the what, but rather the how much of what, and understand how macronutrients work. So as long as you understand what proteins, fats, and carbs are for, right? Like proteins for preserving muscle mass and even further developing it. Fats are for hormonal balance and like a storage nutrient, and carbs for a quick source of energy. And you use them relevant to your daily schedule. So when you need the most quick energy, you eat the most carbs, and then you neglect them mostly for the rest of the day and stuff like that. So these little nuances will determine like how well you eat, not exactly how much calories plus minus one you're eating a day. It's not exactly whether you eat organic or GMO. Of course, I'm not recommending like GMO particularly, but yeah, don't be too neurotic about it. It's about just understanding macronutrients first, not trying to major in the minors. Then you can start understanding micronutrients like vitamins, minerals, how they affect your health, right? So then you can go deeper, but in the beginning, just, establish the base of your pyramid, right? You're building a pyramid. Without a strong base, you can't build it tall. So first, understand how macros work, then you can go into the miscellaneous stuff. So when you eat is not that important. Your total daily intake matters, right? You can have 1 meal a day and look amazing. You can have 6 meals a day and look amazing. And you can have 1 meal a day and look like a piece of shit, or 4 meals a day and look like a sack of potatoes, right? So it doesn't really matters. It doesn't really matter like how many meals you eat a day, but like how quality your food is, and how much is the total portion size, like how well you understand protein, carbs, and fats, how well do you utilize them to your own advantage. Well, that will decide your success ultimately. You say, I only drink once a week. Well, that might be a little bit too much. I would say drink once every 2 weeks, or just like 3 times a month. Okay, maybe once a week is like the upper limit. But if you said sometimes in excess, well, that really sounds ridiculous. So you're just right about it. You just stated a fact. It's whether you just want to change this fact or not. Whether you have the willpower to get your stuff together and not complain, or you will still keep drinking in excess. You have to accept that alcohol is a poison for your body, and your body doesn't care about your feelings. It will still keep reacting to alcohol as a poison, which means that your body shuts down your fat loss processes for the next 24 to 48 hours and will concentrate majority of its efforts to get rid of the poison, to get rid of alcohol, which is a lot of empty calories. You don't use it for energy, you don't use it for anything. You get dehydrated and you rag the next 2 to 3 days of your life. So every time you consume alcohol in excess, you give 2 to 3 days to the devil from your life. So that means if you get fucked up, let's say, 50 times a year, that would mean that you are giving away at least 100 days every year to the devil. Over 10 years, that's 1,000 days. Over 30 years, that's 3,000 days. You're giving 10 years of your life away to low energy, suffering, and pain. You just gave 10 years of your life to the devil. So if this deal is worth it to you, then sure, go for it. But I wouldn't. And I'm not against alcohol consumption, and I'm not even against getting fucked up. Just reduce the frequency and think over. Try to prioritize. As I mentioned before, what you drink, how you drink, why you drink, and who you drink with. Once the values are aligning, once your life starts going towards the trajectory that you want it to be, then okay, you found your sweet spot, you found your balance, and hopefully you won't end up like a dry alcoholic or an alcoholic who is still drinking. So good luck with it, bro. Reduce the frequency. Be strategic about your alcohol choices. Dry red wine, clean and transparent spirits, sparkling water in between each drink, 1 or 2 glasses. Fill yourself up. Don't let it increase your appetite significantly. Go to the party already loaded with protein, right? So just prepare well. And after that, mineralize, remineralize, reload your ions in your body, right? You can bowl out on magnesium. Once you get back from the party or the event, right, you can have anywhere between 800 to 1200 milligrams of magnesium. You can have a coffee spoon of Himalayan salt with 1 liter of water, right? This is how, when, every once in a while, so quarterly, I get a little bit drunk, right? Then this is how I reload my ions, my electrolytes, right? This is how I remineralize my body, and as a result, I never have a hangover. But again, I'm already strategic about my drinking. Sometimes I just also go in excess on the portion sizes, right? Every 3 months, on average. By the way, for those who are curious, I'm not scheduling it, okay? November, February, and May, I'm gonna get fucked up. It's sometimes I'm getting drunk on a birthday party in March, and I'm not touching alcohol at all until July. Or maybe I drink 2 glasses of wine until then twice, and then in July I bowl out on a party again. So I think that's the most balanced, because then you are not making a system out of going to parties, and you're not making a system out of getting drunk at startup conferences or wherever you're attending, right? You're just having fun, and you evaluate and appreciate who you are drinking with and why, for what occasion. And believe me, this way it tastes much sweeter and hits much better, and it spices up the conversations in a way more fun way. So just remember this about alcohol. And if you don't want your weight loss to be stunted, then remove every factor that could stunt your weight loss. And if that means that you have to cut back on, not completely eliminate, because then you will go crazy, but just cut back on your alcohol intake, if that's what it takes, then so be it. It is worth the sacrifice. Look at my client transformations. Look at how happy they are. Look at how such an amazing life they are living. If that's worth it to you to just lay a bit lower on alcohol, then go for it. If you think, no thanks, I want my liver to stop functioning a little bit sooner, I want to live lower energy for the rest of my life, I don't want to look good, then fine, keep drinking the amounts and following the same dietary irregularities that you've been following before, but then don't expect too many results, right? But I think I'm pretty sure that you who wrote this comment, or who sent this message, you're very well aware of this. You needed some extra push, some extra motivation, so I'm pretty sure you've got this. You just gotta keep this in mind, that alcohol is not a joke. It's not a joke, so you definitely want to be careful with it, but you are allowed to have fun, especially with the mentioned methods and systems in place. All right. Can I lose fat and get in shape if I'm older than 60? Yes, there is both empirical and scientific, or methodological, or how do you call it, evidence for this. So there are several studies and papers that show that even above the age of 70, as a result of 2 to 4 resistance training sessions per week, you will experience muscle growth and a significant reduction in body fat storages. So even over the age of 60, you can get in shape, right? And we have several clients over the age of 50 as well, and their progress is going amazing. They are in shape, they are happy about themselves, they have high energy levels, and I'm pretty sure they will be able to maintain it well in their 60s, 70s, and even their 80s. So yes, you can definitely lose fat and get in shape if you're older than 60. Yes, because of your previous habits and previous lifestyle choices, at the beginning it might be a little bit more difficult. You might have a little bit lower testosterone, slower metabolism, but that's only an initial thing. Anyone can improve their metabolism with the right habits and lifestyle choices in place. Anyone can increase their testosterone levels naturally. I have even made videos about this, so I highly recommend checking this out. And at this point, I think at 60 years old, you have already accepted that you've got the genetics, that what you've got. So all you got to do is just bring the maximum out of it. And I know actually athletes, runners, bodybuilders, kayakers who started at 60 years old, and now they are competing in their masters a couple of years later. So you don't even have to take it that far, but you can definitely achieve a fit and healthy and lean and energetic shape even in your 60s. And probably you will thank yourself for this, because that expands your lifespan by at least 10 to 15 or even 20 years. So definitely do that. Do that for your heart health, do that for your lungs, do that for your blood circulation, do that for your body composition, your confidence. So, but not only for the vanity, right? Just do it for your health and being around for your kids and grandkids as long and with as quality time as possible. So yes, you can, and you've got this. So I'm rooting for you, and let's get this going. All right. Wow. All right, next question. I've got this from Twitter. Is honeydew melon also good? Yes, it's also good in terms of being low calorie and large in size, an amazing source of hydration and electrolytes. Not so good in citrulline, doesn't contain lycopene in that amount, no beta-cryptoxanthin, but there are also like a couple of plant pigments which are like healthy for your heart, and like for many different life functions, but nothing as special as watermelon, and it doesn't have as much of a positive effect on blood pressure metrics, for example, as watermelon. So honeydew melon is good as a snack, especially for the ones who are, if you deal with, sweet cravings and stuff like that, it's amazing to replace candies and sweets with fruits like watermelon, honeydew melon, and stuff like that. So I highly recommend consuming it to fill up some space, hydrate yourself, but still, for me, watermelon is the top of the top, right? But honeydew melon is also great, so you're good to go with that. Next question. Do you coach females? Well, technically, yes, I do. It's been years since I have coached females. I've been coaching like moms, artists, digital marketer, female entrepreneurs, and yes, I have to emphasize that we have a different approach for female clients. Actually, we recently got some more interest from ladies that want to get in shape, fix their energy levels and their sleep. So we probably in the next couple of months open a ladies division within Demicycle Protocol, and we will make that happen for sure. But the thing is, when I'm coaching ladies, when we're coaching ladies in the Demicycle Protocol, so we have a different approach because, of course, there are certain significant differences between men and women. So just to get clear on the values, we do think there are two sexes and also two genders, and we are a big believers, in mental health. That's why we are eating watermelon. We are calming down with B6, so we don't start hallucinating 62 different genders, right? So now that we got this straight, we got to the point where we gotta acknowledge that males have a one-day cycle. We wake up, the tent is up, right? Morning wood, whatever, double wood. And we have high testosterone levels, we start crushing the day, we start working, whatever. In the afternoon, we have the highest strength, and in the evening, we are the most loaded with carbs, so that's where we can have the best pumps ever and stuff like that. We have like a regular one-day cycle. Females have a 28-day cycle, usually aligned with the movement of the moon and stuff like that, and this is how we optimize for them. So when it comes to a training day for a man, we should design a training month for a woman. And I have been studying a lot about the female endocrine system, the female reproductive system, and basically how women work. And this is how we have been able to naturally cure one of our female clients' endometriosis. This is how we have been able to get moms back in shape postpartum. So yes, we do have from the old times before Demicycle Protocol. So when Demicycle Protocol was called back then Mythical Gains, we have had female client results, and we focus on natural femininity. So we don't want you to become like super Wonder Woman, muscular, We have different training approaches for ladies. So you can keep your femininity, you can rebalance your cycle. If your cycle is out of balance with the full moon, we realign that. And once we open the female division for Demicycle Protocol, probably in the future as we expand, as we scale up, we will have more female experts on the team who are amazing at advising. I have a lot of female friends who are professionals at the female hormonal system, and their vast knowledge, their books, their resources has been like my primary resources to when it comes to the female system, right? All those knowledge about herbalism, medicine, lifestyle choices, nutrition, whatever. So I do think that it's very important to have healthy men in this world, but without healthy women, this whole thing wouldn't function. So I definitely, to shortly answer your question, yes, occasionally I do coach females, but I haven't done this for a very long time. So due to singularly focusing on high-performing men over the past 2 years, this side of the business has been neglected, but definitely we will open very soon a female division for Dynamic Cycle Protocol. So yes, shortly, soon I will be coaching females again, and that's super fun, but keep in mind that's different, completely different than, almost completely different than coaching men, and it's fun. But the next question is, how to get in shape if I have 10 to 15 flights or business trips per year? I don't always have access to a gym. No problem at all. So this is why travel protocols exist. Of course, most coaches will have you follow like a very restricted, regimented training plan that you can only do in a gym, in a very specific gym with very specific weights. What we do is for each of our clients, we provide a travel protocol specific to the location we're going. So if you are traveling 15 times per year, and if you happen to work with us for a year, you will have 15 travel protocols for the 15 different locations that you're going. And we are always location specific. We scan down the local restaurants for you, local opportunities for training. We write plan B, plan C, plan D training plan for you, so you can always have an opportunity to move, and you will never have an excuse to not move and to not do something for your health. So yes, you can definitely get in shape. Actually, last year I've taken 11 flights, and this is how I lost 50 pounds in 6 months. So, well, if I could do it, you can do it too. If my clients could do it, you can do it too. You can check out the results, and probably I'm gonna make a separate video about this. Like, you can also check out my travel vlogs on how we solved high protein nutrition when you're on the go. What are our go-to high protein snacks? Usually, it's very useful if you load up on different types of jerkies, protein bars, these little high protein yogurts, protein pudding, like these white puddings, skyr yogurt, Icelandic skyr, super high in protein, almost like nothing in calories. I found it very useful. So all of these are gemstones. Definitely bring them with you. You can bring up to the plane and just enjoy. But yeah, you can definitely, if you're traveling for business, how to survive business dinners by staying lean and stuff like that. It's all part of our systems, and I'm happy to help with that. And it's not a problem that you don't always have an access to the gym. So as I said, plan B, plan C, plan D, we have plenty of these. And honestly, you can build a phenomenal shape with only bodyweight training. I know, because I spent my first 3 years of training only doing bodyweight stuff, and a powerlifting world champion came up to me from our high school that saying to me that, hey dude, you look jacked, don't you want to try powerlifting? So that's how I got into powerlifting when I was like 17 years old. So that's a lie, that you can't get into a phenomenal shape with only bodyweight workouts. It's just right, it's just like it's just a legend, a myth, or like a common misconception that you can only get in a great shape with gym, with machines, or with only free weights, stuff like that. There will always be elitists in every single niche, in every single market. But the thing is, whatever you enjoy and you can make weekly progress with, that's going to be your go-to training plan, and usually that will end up working the best for you. So it's not a problem if you're traveling a lot and you don't have access to the gym. Just get better at what you do and stick with it, and always have a plan B, plan C, plan D for what you're going to do for movement. So there's one thing for sure, you will never skip improving yourself. You will never skip moving your body. So it's super important. Next question. Is tap water safe to drink? And why do you always recommend sparkling water? Oh, because I'm the sparkling water man. I'm not just the watermelon man, I'm also the sparkling water man. And let me tell you honestly, why tap water is bad in most countries, right? So, I'm not saying this is undrinkable, it's just not wise to drink. Lots of chlorine, lots of fluoride. What these are doing, what are the endocrine disruptors in the water, right? So from birth control pills, what kind of hormonal disadvantages do we get, right? If a man drinks that kind of water, how will it decrease our testosterone levels, our fertility, our vitality? How will the fluoride make our pineal gland calcify? So we will become like controllable dumbasses. So all of these different things that might make tap water not so attractive to me and to my clients. To be honest, there are countries where tap water is safer than elsewhere. Even in the US, it depends state by state how contaminated the water supply is. There are certain Eastern European countries where the water is clean, right? For example, right now I'm in Paraguay, where they say that, okay, I can drink tap water, but I can expect to have diarrhea like once or twice per year, so they rather recommend to have like bottled water or spring water, stuff like that. Now let me tell you my opinion. Yes, mineral water is amazing. Spring water is even better. And I like sparkling water because this is amazing for fat loss and stress reduction. So it just fills you up more and it helps you reduce your stress and anxiety, especially in the morning. When you wake up, you have this kind of peak in cortisol, stress hormone levels. And if you drink immediately a coffee on top of that, that's not too beneficial. So before you shoot up your cortisol even more and you get more stressed, like jittery, anxious, before that, you want to reduce this anxiety. You want to even out yourself, and this is what sparkling water helps. Helps a ton with. So sparkling water is super helpful in that regard, and I just like how it fills me, especially when I'm in a fat loss phase. It has helped me through so many situations when I could have been hungry, but I resisted. I just drank sparkling water, and I wasn't hungry anymore. So just the way it fills up your stomach, reduces your stress, and you just forget about hunger, and the way it helps you get logged in, you know. And there are like certain different situations where sparkling water is relevant. So for example, between two alcoholic drinks, just to fill you up, just to rehydrate you, and so you think less about alcohol as a fill-in drink. As your companion next to deep work. So you always get hydrated, and you're less likely to think about food and hunger. As your wake up drink in the morning, as I told you before, this is part of my VUAZ protocol, wake up and send it, right? I wake up, I do a set of push-ups until failure. I drink at least half a liter, if not an entire liter. I'm chugging it. Sparkling water, it's amazing. I feel better. I burp one or two, and I just feel amazing. And then I send it. So I, open up my laptop. I start working immediately, 60 to 90 minutes, and I have my first coffee. Tactical coffee, amazing. And I love that. So this is why I recommend sparkling water. Most sparkling water available in the market is, of course, mineral water from different springs. Of course, okay, esoteric health influencers might say that, okay, but plastic bottled ones are not that good because microplastics and blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, a new study just came out. Today in the world, there are almost 4 billion penises that belongs to humans, and to each of those penises belongs, in the best case, like 2 testicles. So we are talking about 8 billion testicles, human testicles in the world. And each of them contain microplastics today. What can you do about it, right? How can you remove microplastics from your bowls in this highly contaminated world? Well, you can live a lifestyle that doesn't let you contaminate further. You can wear, instead of polyester, you can wear like cotton clothing. You can go commando, you can sun your balls, you can use red light therapy, you can do all of these different biohackings to increase your testosterone levels, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're fertile, as long as you are living a lifestyle that allows you to look, feel, and perform better, well, leave the rest to evolution. We are evolving fast, and we are getting resistant to certain bullshit that we have caused for ourselves very fast. There are people already with genes, they developed genes that made them resistant to certain harmful side effects of seed oils. So, well, leave the rest to evolution. Don't try to major in the minors if you're, for example, overweight or obese right now, because then you have bigger problems than the microplastics in your bowls. So if you're worried about microplastics through a plastic bottle, okay, I can understand you, but this shouldn't be your main concern. But if you're still worried about it, I still understand you. So glass bottled ones, obviously, the good old San Pellegrino or the Hungarian Selvas. Yes, these are the elite waters. It might be a little bit weird taste for you because they are like very high in minerals, certain electrolytes. But hell yeah, I love that type of water. Like that's what nourishes you, hydrates you the best, right? You don't just need fluids, you actually need electrolytes that make sure that the water gets used by your body, by your brain, by your muscles, by your nervous system and your organs. So just make sure that you hydrate yourself properly, and if you can, avoid tap water or just put a reverse osmosis filter in your tap or any kind of water purifier. That's also, if you have the funds for that, easily, like install it without a thought, because you can never know. Just, that's it. If you can't drink spring water every single day, just purify your own water and you will be just fine. You will be all set to properly hydrate yourself. Don't forget 1 liter of water for every 45 pounds or 20 kilograms of your body weight. Alrighty, so next question. We are trying for a third kid with the wife. Any supplements to increase male fertility? Well, in one of the previous questions I was answering like what helps you to last longer, but for male fertility and actually sperm count increase, the best thing you can take is zinc and boron. Zinc and boron are amazing. At least 40-50 milligrams of zinc per day, or just eat a lot of red meat and oysters, and about like 3 to 6 milligrams of elemental boron, also 3 to 6 milligrams of elemental copper, because zinc and copper, they work amazing together. So these minerals, and well, as I mentioned before, Tribulus terrestris is amazing for increasing testosterone levels. Some people might say ashwagandha, but I think ashwagandha is better for reducing stress. Won't like significantly increase testosterone as long as my clients and my experience goes. Tongat alley, but that might cause gut health issues, so careful with that. Fenugreek, celery, garlic, amazing. Okay, and generally you want to change your lifestyle. So if you're trying for a third kid, I don't want to make assumptions about you, but probably you got a little bit tired after the first two, and by the way, congrats to the kids. And you might have got out of shape and might have put your health on the back burner. Otherwise, you wouldn't have fertility issues by now. And how to fix that is that you want to eat a high protein diet. You want to train intense resistance training 2 to 4 times per week. And you want to start training your training sessions or your training week with the lower body. Why? So the sooner you train legs and the harder you train them, the more testosterone you produce. So all of these have a very great potential of improving your fertility, but most importantly, you want to fix your sleep. So do whatever it takes to sleep deeper, to sleep more efficient, and you will produce more testosterone, especially if you have a more extended deep sleep phase. I highly recommend an Oura ring or a hoop band to measure your different sleep phases, So you can see how many hours, what percentage of your total sleep do you spend in the deep sleep phase. For most people, this is dog shit, below 10%. Ideally, you should deep sleep at least 20% per night. This should be your benchmark. Once you get there, you're probably releasing more testosterone. So lifestyle changes, minerals, herbal supplements. So, and man, fingers crossed for you and your wife. Hopefully that kid will be born and conceived, because it's a very funny story. Even since the mythical gains days, so before Demicycle Protocol, many of my male clients became first dad while being on a program. And back then I already had this kind of mustache and beard style, looking like Uthred from The Last Kingdom, and they called me Uthred the Kingmaker, because most of them were boys who were born, except for one. One of my clients had a sweet little daughter. So if you follow, I guess, these pieces of advice, you're highly likely to get your wife pregnant very soon. So good luck with that. Fingers crossed for you, man. And yeah, keep crushing it. All right, next question. What do you mean by get your mind in shape? Okay, so for those who don't know the context, usually at the end of my videos I say that before you take any action, get your mind in shape. And what I mean by that is that you want to possess the characteristics and traits of a person who is able to succeed with his health goals. And you want to have the mindset that doesn't let you hold yourself back. You don't want to become or stay the person who is afraid of his own success. You don't want to procrastinate, because the number one reason of procrastination today, no matter if it is your health, relationship, or business goals, is that you are afraid of what if it works for me. Now what, right? It's a reverse psychology. It has no logic, but don't always try to find logic and reason in human psychology, because we are also logical, emotional, and moral creatures. So you can't always put everything on the board of reason and logic. So don't try to understand from that perspective. But if you look at it from an emotional perspective, you need to understand that some people are afraid of their own success. They don't believe in themselves, and they're afraid what is actually going to happen. Like, how could I make this happen? Why me, right? But you can make this happen. You can be lean and energetic for a lifetime. You can get in an amazing shape even if you're starting from zero or even below zero, from a terrible health, terrible shape. You can change your life around in 6 to 12 months. Believe me. I mean, I have the receipts to show, I have the client results to show, but you have to believe in yourself so much that even if all of those clients would still look dog shit, you would say that I can look better than them. Or if you see these amazing client transformations, you see that I will be looking even better than those guys. This is the amount of conviction that I expect from you, because this means that you will make it against all odds, right? And getting your mind in shape also means that you are a loyal person, you are ready to become committed to something, and you are ready to invest in your health. And not just necessarily monetary investment, but invest your time into that. Not too much, 2 to 3 hours per week should be well enough for you. But you have to put that work into that. You should invest your consistency and your discipline. So you have to translate all of the business acumen, all of those skills, and all of those traits of discipline and consistency that you have gained through your corporate career or your entrepreneurship experience. So you have to gather these skills and translate them into your health. Consistency with hitting your gym sessions or your workouts in general, your daily step count targets, your sleep tracking, your pre-bed routine, your meals, right? So you have taken your supplements, whatever. So you don't have to be too neurotic about this, but you want to be confident. You don't want to go 120% every single day, right? For 1 week and then stop. You want to go at around 80% performance for the whole year. right? I would rather be consistent for a lifetime than perfect for a day. And this is exactly the philosophy that you need to adopt in order to make this work and in order to be successful with your health goals. And this is how you get actually a ripped brain, a ripped mind. And once you have this kind of ripped mind and your mind is in shape and you are ready to invest, you don't want to procrastinate, you are a man enough to make decisions for yourself, then you are welcome on the program. Now you can get started, and if your mind is already in shape, or you are just like a little bit away from having your mind in shape completely, and you're willing to accept help with that, then that means that you have the solid basis and you have a good starting point to work with us and get the absolute maximum out of your health and your shape, and to sustain it by yourself without our hand holding in the future, to sustain it by yourself in the future for decades to come. So this is one. Get your mind in shape means that you're not looking for shortcuts, you're not looking for cheap solutions, you're not looking for cheap dopamine, you understand delayed gratifications, you're willing to put in the work, and you're willing to do that in a time-efficient way. You're not procrastinating, and you're not afraid of your own success, and you believe in yourself, you know that's going to happen, you have full conviction that, okay, here's a proven system, but you can say that I'm even more solid guy, I can get better results than anyone on the program so far. So make yourself proud and make everyone else proud, because we are already proud of you if you have your mind in shape and you're ready to get started. All right. Last question, and that's going to be a difficult one. Nutrition, but it doesn't mean that it's the right nutrition, right? Don't try to copy me if that's what works for me. I'm not you, right? I eat high protein meals. I get it mostly from red meats. I get majority of my protein from steaks and eggs, and I love them. But I also eat oatmeal. Hoppa, that's not carnivore anymore. Boom. Mind blown. Carnivores kill me, rip me into pieces. But yeah, my majority of my carb sources are coming from fruits and honey. But this is how I like to eat right now, and this is what I prefer currently. That doesn't mean I'm not eating a fat piece of pancake every once in a while, or I'm not eating ice cream every once in a while, or I don't make sponge cake out of eggs, raw cacao powder, and oatmeal. I like to bake. I like pastries, and I'm not gonna say no to these, because this is my life. I love to eat, right? And I could get shredded, and I could stay lean after that, without having to say no to my favorite foods, and without developing any kind of health problems. So why would I go full keto? Why would I go full carnivore if I have proven and tested on many, many dozens of people that my systems work, and we don't have to restrict your diet, and we don't have to count calories, and we don't have to cut out entire groups of nutrients if we want to prioritize our health and our longevity. So the carnivore diet is not that bad. It's actually amazing for treating certain chronic illnesses, just like the keto diet is just not sustainable for the majority of the population in the long term. And why do I focus so much on the majority? Because majority of people today are not just overweight, they are obese. So they have bigger problems whether they eat a grain of rice or not. They have much bigger problems and much less nutritional awareness and knowledge that they could start a carnivore diet right now, and they could sustain it for years. I'm talking about years. Just because you've been 6 months on a carnivore diet and it worked amazing for you, like, congrats. But for most people who have been growing up on Pringles and McDonald's, they won't start a carnivore diet and they won't stick with it, right? They need something that's more touchable, more mundane for them. And it's not for everyone, right? And the same goes for the, just don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on carnivores, but I just don't agree with their philosophy, right? Let them have their meat, right? I'm 80% carnivore, by the way, but I could never follow that diet completely. And the same goes for vegans, because they cut out the most important aspect of muscle building, being able to build it lean and without farting the house full. Because if you try to build muscle as a vegan, you have to eat a lot of different types of plant proteins to be able to combine these full amino acid chains and to get these full amino acids, which can then be built into your muscles. So, but from these plant-based sources, they for like every 1 gram of protein, they contain like 5, 6, 7 grams of carbs. So inefficient and so much gas build up on a high protein vegan diet is that it's just not worth it. It's terrible. Okay, so at least carnivore and keto don't make you sick and deficient in vitamin B, right, and certain minerals and zinc and stuff like that. So I would say if I had to choose, I would rather be a carnivore than a vegan, but it doesn't mean that carnivore is perfect. The same goes for Atkins diet, same goes for the low FODMAPs diet, the same goes for the vertical diet, which I've been following for more than a year. None of these are sustainable unless you are obligated to sustain these dietary frameworks. So if you have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, of course, a vertical diet, low FODMAPs diet will be your way. If you are epileptic, probably the keto diet will be your way to treat this. If you have chronic gut health issues, probably the carnivore diet will be your way. And this is not health advice again. This is not medical advice, just to disclaim it. But this is how it goes. These are why these diets have been invented or like optimized or invented in the first place. So, but it doesn't mean that it's sustainable. So you want to find like an 80% whole food, high protein diet, and you should reserve like 20% to your favorite farm foods. And this way you will never go insane. This way you will never eat too much processed food. This way you will never kill yourself with the food that you're eating. You can sustain a healthy body weight, body composition, energy levels, and overall state of being. And probably if you can get into that state of being right now when you're 40, 50 years old, you can stay there when you're 60, 70, 80 years old as well. Not sure if you could stay on keto, carnivore, or vegan at that old age and not go completely crazy or develop some serious health issues that probably you are already developing right now if you're restricting your diet too much. It just hasn't come to the surface yet. It might take you decades. But let's see, okay, why is the keto diet is recommended for epilepsy or epileptic people? Yes, so it has helped for many patients to become symptom-free or at least reduce the frequency of symptoms. Am I saying that keto diet is the cure for epilepsy? No, but it definitely helps, especially until you receive the paper from the hospital that you are actually healed. You're not just symptom-free, but you're actually healed, because how it works with epilepsy, even if you become symptom-free, you might have to take the medication for years afterwards, maybe even up to 3 to 5 years, and that's when they can say that, okay, you are cured. And until you are cured, it might help you to follow a ketogenic diet, to let the carbs empty out from your brain, and to like completely rewire your system, get into ketosis. So it has been shown to help with that area of your brain that is responsible for these epileptic disorders and reactions. Keep in mind there are like multiple types of epilepsy. There are like the the big Caesars and the small Caesars. And the small one is called absent epilepsy, and the big one is called the so-called standard epilepsy. And with both, the ketogenic diet has been found to help, but I wouldn't say that this is like a medically accredited cure. It's just like a tool or like a nutritional framework as a supplementation next to the protocol that you might get from doctors, right? So definitely talk to your neurologist about this. And if he or she also thinks that going on keto would be a good idea, at least for a while, just trying it out, then it could definitely work. One positive side of keto is that it's easy to combine this with carnivore, like go from a carnivore approach, like a higher fat carnivore approach, where you can eat ribeye steaks, ossobuco. It's like these fattier cuts of meat. You can eat salmon, fattier cuts of fish, of course, with lots of eggs and full-fat cheese, full-fat yogurt. So it still allows you to eat like very good, pretty decent, like wholesome things. And there are some fruits which are considered keto-friendly. For example, many keto guys I know, they from time to time eat some blueberries because they're very low in carbs, even though they are fruits. So there are ways around it. My buddy Zach Strength, he used to be an American football player, and then he got like absolutely shredded on keto. I think he's the only legit keto guy out there who actually has a more or less sustainable approach to keto. I still wouldn't recommend keto for majority of the people, but if you happen to suffer from epilepsy, you can try it out. You can follow my buddy Zach Strength on Twitter and Instagram, and he gives very good keto recipes and tips and stuff like that. So definitely worth a follow. But yeah, majority of keto influencers, coaches, trainers are complete scammers, and they sell this as a salvation to eternal life. And the only possible way to basically live a healthy life and lose fat and stuff like that, but it's completely untrue. And I think from a volume point of view, it's pretty inefficient, because like fat compared to the amount of energy it contains, like it's pretty small in size. You'll have to eat a lot to feel properly satiated. Of course, the high amount of protein, especially the steaks, help a lot. Here's from steaks. You don't need to eat that much to feel satiated, actually. But yeah, when it comes to fats, you will need to eat more to actually feel something. But then, boom, you have already consumed thousands of calories. So these are the good and the bad sides of the keto diet. But definitely, if you have any kind of neurological disorders, it might help you in the long term. So, and this was the last question for today. And I really appreciate everyone watching this. I really appreciate the interest of everyone. And keep writing those questions, keep leaving them on the comment section, keep DMing me on Twitter, Telegram, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of these platforms. I'm not saying I will be able to answer everything right away, but whenever I get a question, by the end of the day, if I can't get back to that person, I'm sure I'm noting these questions down, because I wanna answer all of them on video. But keep sending me the questions, and yeah, this was the first interview. And if any aspect of our systems piqued your interest, and if you're ready to get permanently below 15% body fat, double your natural energy levels, and permanently get into the best shape of your life, and if you happen to be a high achiever or corporate executive over the age of 40 or 50, then definitely we highly recommend you to go to the description, click on the link there and book a free call with us, where we will craft up a 6-month game plan for you on how we would get you into unrecognizable shape and energy levels. We will show you the roadmap, how it would look like to work together, and if you happen to be a good fit, we can get you onboarded right away. But If you still don't have, as I said before, your mind in shape yet, your brain in shape yet, you're still procrastinating, and you prefer to delay your health goals, you tend to say that you have bad genetics, bad metabolism, no time, and all of these different excuses, high season in business, and so on and so on and so on, and you don't accept if you don't make a change, you will never achieve a change. You will just keep daydreaming about it, right? Then don't book a free call with us. Let's not waste each other's time, but I highly recommend you to maybe watch the brain in shape part of this interview again. Watch my previous videos where I really want to give you insights, enough insights to level up your mind to that level where you believe in yourself and your efforts enough that you can make this happen with the right system and the right guidance in place. So guys, thank you for watching. Thanks for the questions again. I highly recommend and I highly invite you to start civil discussions in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your further questions. And I appreciate you a ton. See you in the next one.